Hello and welcome to Chapter 3, Creating and Recognizing New Opportunities. In this chapter, we're going to focus on both the entrepreneurial mindset, explain how the entrepreneurial mindset relates to opportunity recognition. If you recall, last week we were discussing the entrepreneurial mindset. Now we're looking into opportunity recognition. One of the things about entrepreneurship, about entrepreneurs, is that they recognize opportunity. When others don't see it, they see the opportunity to where there is a open market for them to bring their services or their products to the market. No matter what the economy is doing, there's always an opportunity to succeed. Just think about when the 2008 financial crisis happened. Out of it came out Groupon, and Groupon is still alive and well. And of course, as you saw in the pandemic, other companies came out of it as well. So, entrepreneurial mindset positions entrepreneurs to identify opportunities, always looking for new ideas, goals, and ways to attain them. So, of course, you have to think about that, and you have to, whether it's a profit or a nonprofit or an existing corporation, you always have to be relentless and recognizing of the opportunities that lay in front of you. What is an opportunity? There are three central characteristics to this. There's a potential economic value, right? One of the quotes that I really like about this to say this potential economic value, if it makes sense, if it makes dollars, it makes sense, right? So a quote to think about that: if it makes dollars, it makes sense. I got that quote from the Hall of Famer tight end Shannon Sharp, right? He said that once in one of his shows. He says if it makes dollars, it makes sense. And you have to think about that as a business, right? If there is potential economic value, then it makes sense to continue it. It's novelty or newness, right? Is this something new to the market or brings novelty? Um, and of course, you have to be very careful though if there's something new. One of the things you have to be careful with, if no one's ever brought it to market, that means it's probably not an opportunity. Everything that you can think about has been brought into the market. It's just a different way of doing things, right? Facebook wasn't the first social media site ever, right? If you recall, some of you may recognize or not remember MySpace, right? And before that, Yahoo Messenger and such. And so, what novelty or newness does it bring to the market and the perceived desirability? One of the things about an opportunity is that there has to be desirability in your product or your service. If there is no if there's no desirability in your product or service, then it really is not going to have a chance. Continuing on with the opportunity, right? It's generating value through unexploited products, services, or products, services, or processes. So again, how do you generate value in unexploited product, right? How do you generate an opportunity, right? An idea must generate value. For an opportunity to be valuable, it must have a capacity to generate value. Like, what value does it bring to the market, right? And there are two ways of look at the forms of value, right? You could look at it as economic value, right? Financially, what value does it bring to the market? But if you're looking at the other perspective, what social environmental value does it bring, right? There has to be a value to it, whether it's saving you money, saving you time, or other things, or people buying it for a luxury good. What value does it have? What economic value does it have? Whether it's your product, your services, or your processes. Envisioning how a product or service can generate value. Um, One of the things, if when you're thinking about a business idea or business product, as you move along in your project or you're thinking about a startup, right? Ideas constitute an opportunity must be new or unique, right? Again, it has to be a unique perspective. Involve something that people need or desire. How are you solving people's pains? If you want to think about an opportunity, how are you solving their pain? I'm not talking about physical. It could be, right. Physical pain could be one thing, but how are you solving their pain? And of course goes back to solving a problem, right? What problem are you solving? What is your product or service solving in the marketplace? If it's not solving anything, there's really no desire for it. There's really no need for it. Um, And of course, you could do that yourself. Like you could go out into the market, do a little small sample size, and see if it's desirable. If not, then you're going to have a hard time scaling your business. People need it and want it. Um, Continuing on with opportunity recognition, right? Identify ideas likely to succeed. And again, you really have to look at it in a perspective of one framework, rating an idea on 4 different dimensions. Um, of course, you have to rate this. An idea may be innovation, or an invention, an improvement, or irrelevant, right? So you have to look at those 4 things. It may be innovative, it might be an invention, or an improvement. Now, or irrelevant. One thing though, not every invention is a product that's going to be desirable in the marketplace. Like there are hundreds of millions of patents out there with inventions that people just don't use because there's no need for it in the product. There's no need for it in the marketplace. Continuing on with innovation, invention, improvement, or irrelevance, right? Inventions, a novelty for customers, right? Improvement enhances existing products. The irrelevant category, non-useful products. And bizarre inventions can be marketable too. So, you think about these inventions, right? Score highly, but an invention doesn't reach the market or appeal to consumers. Not again, there's so many inventions out there, but not every invention is out there for the product. It could be seen as useless, right? An improvement. There are many ideas that focus on improvement based on enhancing existing products, right? Liquid paper, folding sunglasses, right? You could look at a product right now on the marketplace and see how can I improve this particular product to make it better, right? The irrelevant category, right? There are things that fall into this category, right? You just think about, let's look at the big people, the big corporations, right? Pepsi's morning pick me up drink called Pepsi AM. You remember that drink? Well, you don't, because it's not in the marketplace anymore, because people don't drink Pepsi AM, right? Not very many people drink Pepsi in the morning. um, Beverage giant Coors and Mountain Spring Water and soup companies Campbell's combine soup and a sandwich into one frozen microwavable meal. That was gross, right? So Campbell's one time combined soup and a sandwich into a frozen microwavable meal, and just hearing about that sounds pretty gross. And one time too, Sprite tried to come out with a drink, a healthy drink, like it was like a leaf type drink. And I remember this because I saw it once many years ago. They were doing like a promo of it, and you never saw it on the marketplace because it wasn't desirable. So of course there are bizarre things out there. Usually the big corporations have the funds to bring out certain things out to marketplace to see if it sticks. If it doesn't, you lose. It's much more costly for a small company, for a startup to do it, because they can waste all their money on a product or service that nobody really desires. um, Going out, so start with thousands of ideas. One of the things is like, well, how do I start with my idea? How do I start with generating ideas, or how do I start with a startup, right? Idea generation is the first step toward finding strong opportunity, right? Opportunity to embrace the openness of an entrepreneurial mindset. So one of the things I would, if I were in your shoes and you're coming up with a startup idea, is on a sheet of paper, write 100 things that you can think about at the top of your head that solves a problem or that you find pains in the marketplace. Like write 100 things that bother you in the world or in life. Um, and just write them down. Just don't stop until you reach 100. And look back at those. Once you written those 100 problems that you see in the world or in the marketplace or whatever it may be, look at them and see what opportunity arises from them that you can start a business from. So again, I highly encourage you, because you have to have thousands of ideas to get that one idea that's going to make it out in the marketplace. There is no good or bad idea. It's just not great execution. There's no desirability, right? The myth of the isolated inventor. Um, Ideas don't spring fully from in our minds. Ideas don't just spring fully formed in our minds, although the myth of the isolated inventor, working tirelessly from his workshop life to admit leads to think so. So a lot of the things like ideas just don't spring up, right? A lot of it comes from collaboration. So you may have to collaborate with people or talk with people to come up with ideas. Now, of course, given the whether you're taking this class online, asynchronous, or on your own, right? You may have to go talk to other folks if you're not in the classroom setting to see, to get form ideas, right? There is no isolated inventor, right? People when they talk to others come up with ways for new ideas, right? There's a very little reason to credit one person for the creation of product or service. It usually comes through collaboration or talking with others. So there's 7 ideas for idea generation. The first three, we're looking at analytical strategies, which involve taking time to think about a problem by breaking it up into parts. So look at it in a generic way in order to generate ideas about how certain products or service can be improved or more innovative. So look at a product or service right now and just break it up into different parts and see how you can improve it. Search strategies involves using memory to retrieve information and make links or connections based on past experience to the current problem. Imagination-based strategies, right, involve suspending disbelief and dropping constraints in order to unrealistic states or fantasies. So this is kind of like the phase of coming up with an idea or solution, like unimaginable. Like there's no way you could do it. Just think about Elon Musk when he told people, I'm going to privatize sending rockets into space. People thought he was crazy. It's unrealistic. Only the federal government, only NASA can do that. And look at him now. He's sending rockets into space. Electric vehicles. Now, of course, it wasn't the first electric vehicle, but to make it desirable for the everyday consumer was unrealistic, but he did it. I mean, he's continuously doing that now. So sometimes some of the most craziest, unrealistic ideas become a hit, right? Who would have thought Facebook would have been where it's at right now with billions of users, right? It's just a crazy imagination. Continuing on from the 7 strategies, habit breaking strategies. This technique helps break our minds out of mental fixedness in order to bring out creative insights. One strategy is to think about the opposite of something you believe in order to explore a new perspective. So works is think about whatever you believe in, think the opposite, right? For example, if there's a belief that you believe that hamburgers are better than pizza, right? Think the opposite of that. Right? I'm just throwing up generic example, but this is one strategy, right? Explore the new perspective. Relationship seeking strategies involves consciously making links between concepts or ideas not normally associated with each other, right? Look at how link different things together that normally don't associate with each other, and there may be an opportunity there. Development strategies employ to enhance and modify existing ideas in order to create better alternatives and new possibilities. So this is again, if you look at something currently right now in the market, how can you make it better or modify it to fit a specific target market or to focus on someone specific, right? A lot of the times people overlook senior citizens, and that's one big market that a lot of folks don't tap into. And so if you look at their current service or product, and if it's not serving the needs of senior citizens, that can be an opportunity for you there. Um, Again, looking at the 4 pathways to opportunity identification, right? An opportunity can be many things. There are favorable opportunities, those that are valuable, rare, fit, and costly to implement, right? Again, if there's value, if there's market value, then it's a great it's looking like in a great trajectory. Rare, there are novelty for customers. Fit, there may be a made based on skills, and of course costly to imitate, right? One of the things in business for a startup that you when you develop a product or service, you have to make it costly to imitate. anyone can easily imitate your product or service, then it's going to be easy. It is going to be really hard competition. You want to make it where the competition just can't easily imitate your product or service. Even in the restaurant industry, even if you're getting into the food industry, if you make a really great product, and you have tremendous service, it's really hard to imitate you. You have to create barriers, right, for other entrepreneurs, so no one can just take your idea and go with it. So you have to make it really costly to imitate. So again, looking at it, right? We're looking at the 4 steps, right? I saw a clear problem and developed a solution. So the first step is finding that solution, right? So you saw a problem and you developed a solution. You do the research. I knew I wanted to start a business, but was unsure where to start. So you go and find, do your research, effectuate. I thought about what I knew. I created something. I just started testing it. So again, testing is an important aspect. Again, going and testing to the market. Design. I wanted to create something innovative. I started looking around, talk to some people, and I find new unmet needs. Of course, then I create something to meet those needs. Looking at this, continue looking at the 4 pathways to identification. There's discovery and creation, right? Um, you look at the opportunity pathways: find and search, and discovery, effectuate and design and creation. The role of the entrepreneur in discovery part is be alert and scan the environment, and creation is take action, build, and iterate. Um, and of course, you're gonna have to. One thing is to discover, and then one thing is to create the opportunity. You can discover something and think about something out of you have that eureka moment, but you have to actually create it and put it out there. Um, Alertness, prior knowledge, and pattern recognition is an important aspect, right? Um, Access to the right information is one of the key influences of opportunity identification. How the information is used makes real impact, right? Access to information is not enough. It's how this information is used that makes the real impact. You can have a plethora of information, but how you use that information is what's going to make the real impact. Alertness, right? Discoveries are made by those entrepreneurs who are alert. Again, always be alert, right? So let me give you the example of the post-its notes here. You all are pretty familiar with post-its, right? Dr. Spencer Silver was not actively searching for an opportunity to invent sticky notes, but became alert to the idea through experiments and proceeded to collaborate to a colleague to create post-its that would improve a huge market success in the future, right? Um, and so again, just always look at the opportunities that are lay in front of you. Sometimes it's just those eureka moments, always being alert, finding new ways. One of the things that I do and I encourage you to do is anytime you come with an idea or something, you recognize something, you're alert, write it down because you're not going to remember it later on, right? You're going to be like, "Ooh, what was I thinking about? And I can't remember." Write it down and see what happens. Later on in the future, it may help out. Some entrepreneurs are more adept to spotting opportunities because they have more access to information. They're more risk takers. They calculate the risk, and they possess different kinds of styles than those of non-entrepreneurs. Right? They possess those skills that they see the opportunity, they take the opportunity and go with it. Cognitive styles attributed. So some of the cognitive styles is intelligence, creativity, self-efficacy, which influence opportunity recognition. Um, some people just have that innovative instinct to be aware of opportunities that others don't. Um, just some people are just have that skill set. They just recognize opportunity, and they go with it. Being intelligent, and it doesn't always mean you're the straight A student. It just means that you have the intelligence to seek opportunities out there and go with it. Um, Again, prior knowledge is gained from life experiences. There's a research done. Most entrepreneurs are in their 40s on average. Not every successful entrepreneur is in their early 20s. Of course, there are some examples out there, but it's not the commonality. You see very successful entrepreneurs be in their early 20s. A lot of the times in business, prior knowledge and it really does help an individual with their business, coming up with an idea. Having all that prior experience really does bring a tremendous effort when developing a business. Um, Alan Lim, right, the founder of Scratch Labs, a company that provides tasty, natural, hydrated food and drinks to athletes, was able to apply the knowledge he gained while working as a sports scientist and a coach for professional cycling teams, right? Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, spent weeks researching the shapewear industry before using the knowledge she gained to create her seamlessly pantyhose product. So again, prior knowledge plays a huge difference, right? You have to know the field, right? Successful entrepreneurs have prior knowledge, but they apply to their own ventures, right? A lot of successful entrepreneurs have gained work experience. It's not a commonality where someone just straight out of college or in college becomes a successful entrepreneur. Most time you have to go out there and get some work experience. Now, I'm not saying it's always the case, but most part, a lot of entrepreneurs have prior experience, prior knowledge in their industry, that helps them come up with ideas for their venture. Pattern recognition, again, just a key factor in building opportunities. Um, pattern recognition is the process of identifying links or connections between apparently unrelated things or events. Some of the most simplest ideas are born from making links from one event to the other. When you look at one thing and put together something, things happen, right? So Celine and Nico, their luggage storage company, to solve their problem of having to lug their baggage around on the first and last day of their travels, both these individuals co-founded a luggage storage company in Knox City, which partners with different shops to allow people to drop off their luggage for $2 an hour. So again, moving from idea to the opportunity by keeping an open mind. So again, recognizing that there are opportunities elsewhere, having an open mind really does bring a benefit. Again, for an opportunity to be viable, the idea must be unique. You have to have that unique opportunity, uniqueness about it. Um, Again, the three processes before identifying opportunity: generate ideas for something new, sorting ideas through the creativity stage, assessing the opportunity, and transcending existing knowledge and structures to move an idea to opportunity. Looking at this idea model of recognition, this is basically a model here, an empirically proven method for identifying and selecting high potential ideas that can be converted to new opportunities. So you can see here the different stages that can help you as you come up with a startup company. Again, identify, then you discover, you enhance, you anticipate, you find the target, and then you evaluate. So these are the stages of recognizing that opportunity. And that is it for this chapter. Thank you.